Hi, and welcome to another episode of Get Lifted. Today we have a new signing. We have
Asparagus. Hi.
Hey man, how are you?
I'm alright. I've been at work today, so pretty tired.
Ben over here, he's a football referee, and he's in England, so it's soccer. So do you have to wear like a specific uniform, or do you just have like a vest or something, or like how does that look like?
It's a uniform. It has a badge and a logo and everything. We have like the football association in this country, so I have like 3 lions for like the UK football team, and then it says VFA and then referee. So it's pretty official stuff. I had to do a course and everything, like learn how to do it.
That's cool. So like, do you give a lot of red cards or mostly yellows?
Weirdly enough, I've never, well, not yet. I've been repping for like 2 years now, and I've never given out a red or a yellow card.
Really? What are you supposed to do though?
Never had to.
What are you supposed to do though? Like, do you just like write down their name? Or you're just like, hey, you. Never funny.
Yeah, I've done the training for it. I'll just shout at them. Then you ask them their name, then you'll write down the number on the back of their shirt. And then at the end, you'll report them to the Dorset FA and their team. And then they'll probably, if it's a red card, they'll get banned from playing football for, I think it's 3 games. So yeah, it's pretty bad if you get a red card.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, so why don't you introduce a little bit yourself to the audience? So like, who exactly are you? How long you making music or whatever?
Yeah, well, I'm Asparagus. My real name's Ben. I've been making music for like a year now, so yeah, not that long. I started in April last year, so this is like my full year of making music now. I make future bass and future bounce. I've been dabbling in bass house recently and some other things, but I signed a future bass track to LFTD. So yeah.
Cool. How old are you, man?
16.
He's a young one over here, guys, and pretty talented actually.
I always get told that whenever I show someone my music, like in a Discord call or something, they're always like, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 16. And then they're like, whoa, you're so young.
Yeah, actually before our meeting, I had a meeting with a 15-year-old girl from Spain. She's almost as good as you, bro. She's 1 year younger. She makes bass house. We can't sign her yet because she's 15, so we have to wait for till next year. But yeah, you're gonna keep getting younger, man. Like 8 years old. I'm waiting for that banger.
So, wait, can you not sign people down to 16?
It's just too hard. It's just too hard because like the legalities of it just gets more complicated as you get younger.
Yeah,
Right.
Being a referee, I had to do a background check when I turned 16 because technically I'm not a child anymore, but I still am. It's like a bit, like in the middle.
Yeah. So like in Canada, you can only start working at 16. So if you want a child to work before 16, then they have to go through an actual special ordeal. You basically have to prove that you're not exploiting the individual. So that's why our minimum is 16. As we grow, we might like consider only 18 plus. Don't worry, you're good now because you already signed with us. But yeah, it's just, so there's like the extra paperwork sometimes can be a little bit of a headache. Okay, so in regard to like when like your first concert ever that you ever attended, how old were you? Who did you see?
Weirdly enough, I've never been to a concert of EDM at all.
No, just any. It doesn't have to be necessarily EDM. It could be like a rock show. I don't know, like a talent show. Nothing.
I don't know. I've been to a lot of musical theater and stuff like that.
Concert.
I've watched. Yeah, I know, but like, I have never actually been to like a concert of any genre really.
Mm. Tell me more about like the one that you went to though, like those theater performances, right?
Yeah, like it's musical theater, so basically it's just kind of dancing and singing, and I quite like that. I did it for a while actually. Like, I was an actor and I did a little bit of singing like sometimes, and there was a talent show, one of them that I watched, which was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of never. I don't know. I guess I picked. I don't know. Not going to a concert and music or anything hasn't like limited me though. It's like it just like I don't know. It's just that's something I get to experience after I've already established myself as an artist, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it's cool, man. Like my first concert, the one I went to was like, I was like 10, right? And it was because of a soap opera. Yeah, I just went with my parents. Like, yo, can I go see that artist? And then I was like sat way at the back, and I was just kind of like, oh my god, he's awesome. And yeah, so I mean, it doesn't matter. Like I've been to like the Lord of the Rings thing that you guys have in England, but it's like a musical. That one's fire because like the theater spins and like they're just like, oh my god, we're going to Mordor. And I'm like, ah shit, it's cool. Love it. So yeah. So you good?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was gonna interrupt, but then I didn't because I thought it was
okay. So in regards to like when you attended to those type of shows, did you see anything weird ever?
I don't know. The weirdest thing that I probably ever saw at one of these shows was one of the actors fall over while singing. That was funny. But, like that was kind of it.
Did they recover though, or were they just kind of like?
Oh, they recovered. They got up and carried on. Wow, they kind of like brushed it off like weirdly. They were like got it up, and then the song was still going. They just picked it up from where they left off. That was funny.
Oh, yeah. I guess like if that ever happened to me, I don't know if like the pain would distract me or like you start limping, just like.
I don't think he hurt himself. I just think his dignity was like kind of hurt. That's some problem.
Is there like a dress code when you go to these things, or do you just show up however? Or...
Yeah, you just show up. Yeah, like they're just like you call them like I don't know, kind of pantomime, I guess. Like the yeah, you just show up. I take my family and stuff.
Yeah, no, I just want to know because like, and for example, like when I see movies, like for example, you're gonna go to opera, you gotta like right to seat, right? And they're like, "Sir, your seat's right here. Please don't make noise, or we'll kick you out." Right? So I don't know. It's just like
it's not that official. It's just casual stuff.
Okay. Okay. So in regards to like electronic dance music, what was the first song you ever heard?
Probably some NCS stuff, you know, in YouTube videos when they play the NCS music behind the video or something like that, and it's like really bouncy and like house, like upbeat house music. Like I heard EDM for the first time like on like YouTube like that, and then I looked more into like labels, like bigger labels like Spinning and NCS, and went through all of their stuff and going like, oh, this is so cool, I love this genre. And yeah, then I found artists like Elenium and like Don Diablo, and I was like, whoa, these guys are sick. And I kind of really liked it. That's basically where I picked it up.
Oh, okay. So is there like a song in particular that just kind of like, yo, I want more, like I want 20 of these?
I quite like Throttle's. Throttle, he wrote a song called Dreamer, and that's a really good song. I like that song a lot. It's like future bass, but kind of, it reminds me a little bit of San Holo, but like kind of mixed with Millennium future bass, and it's so cool.
Are you like part of the Sad Boy Club then, or more like just future bass club?
Yeah, I quite. It's like I don't know. I like upbeat future bounce music sometimes, like Dirty Palm and stuff, and sometimes I just prefer Millennium and sadder things. I wouldn't call myself like I love this genre more than anything else. I just have a little bit of a bias to it because it's what I heard first, I guess.
Yeah, I think like the first Millennium song that I heard was his remix of Nika Keaton. I can't remember like the name of it right now, but that was just like, this is so weird. I like it. And then I think like maybe like a year later, that's when the Chainsmokers remix that he did.
Yeah.
And that's when I was just like, that's what blew him up. Like, I think it was like 300 million streams on YouTube. I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah, that remix is amazing. That established him like as like, I think that was his first like blew him up song that like really made him famous and popular.
Yeah, like I've been to an Millennium concert before he was like doing that Chainsmokers song. I mean, it was like a tiny club. people didn't really know how to dance to his music because there was like you can't really headbang to it because it's like kind of chill.
Yeah.
Right, so they were kind of just like swinging side to side, and you're just like, all right, this is interesting. And then the next year, everybody's just going like, break my neck. And I'm just kind of like, okay, pretty cool.
NCS is a bit of a weird concert. NCS Elenium is a bit of a weird like person to attend a concert, because if he's like he'll play all of his sad songs and usually concert and festivals and stuff, usually quite jumpy. It must be really weird.
So what happens is that, for example, my buddy has remixed Millennium, We're Fury. So he has like a dubstep drop for the Millennium original. So what Millennium does is like he'll have his sets kind of like an emotional, kind of like low key start at the beginning, and then they'll progress into harder and harder and harder and really hard. Eventually, it's just like a dubstep show by the end of it. So it does progress quite nicely. His visuals just get more insane. He's a big fan of like Orange or whatever, right? But whole Phoenix thing that he's got going on. Yeah, pretty cool artist. When you get a chance to see him, you'll probably have to come to North America though, because I don't think he ever goes to Europe.
He does shows all over North America. I looked up where he's doing shows and festivals, and just none in the UK or anywhere other than America, and it kind of made me sad.
Well, it's because from what I understood, because my buddy talked to him, they were just kind of like, yeah, there isn't much of a market. I think he played France once, and it was like so.
Yeah.
So don't worry, man. As soon as you get your passport, fly over here. I've seen him like maybe 8 times. So. Okay. In regards to food, do you have a particular burger that you're fond of? Now, the reason I'm asking this is because I get to find out a lot about a person by the way they describe their burger or food.
Well, I guess the burger, if I was to choose any burger, I'd have cheese, lettuce, tomato, and then just squashed. And that would be like, it's a really basic burger. Just like the basic style.
Any particular bread that you put on it, or would you just do like the regular Subway style kind of thing, or like McDonald's? Or do you want like French bread that you can just smell the history of the bakery?
I guess. I don't know. I've never been asked this in-depth questions about burgers.
And then that's what I care about.
I guess like just any bread. I don't really care.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, what about when you're producing? Do you have a particular snack that you go to?
Yeah, like hula hoops.
Oh, nice.
They're like ringed crisps, and I like them. It's like my favorite.
Do you eat them before you start, or you just eat them halfway through them?
Probably
like,
if I'm halfway through, I'll just run downstairs, grab some, and run back up.
Yeah. So, like for example, when I write, I can only write when I'm hungry, right? Because I don't know what it is. It's just like I just feel uncomfortable. That's why I'm just like, okay, use this uncomfort to like write something around it. And then when it hurts, that's when I go eat. So I usually grab like Tostitos or something. So,
weird writing process.
Hey man, that whatever I gotta do to spark emotion, right? Sometimes that's pain. Okay. So when did you know you wanted to start making music?
Like, you know, when lockdown, I don't know if Canada's had a lockdown, but we had quite a few in the UK, and on the first one, I was inside, and I'd been watching, like, you know, when you slowly get into something, I'd been like starting to see FL tutorials like pop up. Yeah. I'd started to watch, and like I got interested, and then after a while I was like, yeah, I want to make something like this. Like, so I looked at like different doors, and eventually I came to settle on FL Studio because I thought there were a lot of tutorials on FL Studio. I think it's like probably the most widely covered one by like YouTube. So yeah, I looked into that. I downloaded the trial version for quite a while, and then I messed around with that for like ages, and then I decided one day that I wanted to buy it, and then I bought it and I released a song, and it didn't do very well. But I kept going. Like, I didn't give up. I persisted, and I think I've gotten a lot better, like very quickly compared to like other people who I know someone who started around the same time as me, and they're still like, I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm good. I'd say I'm like intermediate. I'm not amazing, but like, yeah, I know people who had started around the same time as me and are still not as far as I've gotten. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
the tutorials help though. People are always like, "Oh, YouTube tutorials suck. They don't really help at all." But I think they're really helpful because they just teach you so fast. Like, spend 10 minutes watching, and boom, you learn something new.
Yeah. For me, like it took me like a while to get like decent in music, just because like from my side, I didn't know exactly who to follow. Maybe you have like a particular recommendation that you want to tell the audience, like, yo, this YouTube channel, that's your person, right?
I kind of watched everyone. Like, any
Oh, really?
tutorial that popped up, I'd watch it. Like, and I don't know, due to me watching like whatever came up, that just YouTube was always just throwing different things at me from different channels. That's pretty much all that happened.
I guess do you just like apply what you learn right away? Is that what you got? You progress so quickly, or
Yeah, basically. I would pretty, I don't know, I'd say I had an advantage because I know a lot about music theory and I could already play the piano, so it was a bit of fun. It wasn't so much as of a giant leap as it is for other people. So yeah.
yeah, that's cool. Like for me, like when I started, I still had to. I didn't know what a music theory was. I didn't know there were keys. So like I was just like, what do you mean C major? What the hell is that? I was like, can I just stick to the whites? It's like, yeah, but that's A minor. I was like, I don't understand, right?
Yeah.
Or like the whole thing with like mix down. Like I remember my friends used to tell me like, I can't really hear your sound. I was like, what do you mean, man? They're there. It's like they're just not clear. I'm just like, okay. So I don't know. I used to learn a lot from Seamless because I started on FL Studio too, and I just like the weird stuff that he did. He was always just polite. He's like, hi guys, have a nice day, right? I'm a big fan of him. And then like other people that we watch, Multiplier, is that his name? He does stuff on Ableton, but yeah, I don't know. I'm on Logic, so like it doesn't matter. I just kind of just learn from whoever. I like FL Studio. It's just like my computer kept crashing, and I was just like, you know what? I've had it with PC. I'm switching to Mac, and then my Mac came with Logic, so I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm learning Logic. Now I'm here.
Yeah. Logic is really well optimized for like Mac and FL. I think lots of people, for some reason, it's like really bad at running on stuff. Like it always crashes. It's like the worst software.
It's because every PC has a different configuration. There's all these different sound cards, right? So it's very hard for a company to make something that has so many variables. That's why like FL Studio also partnered with Razer, right? They're like, yeah, like Razer and FL Studio, it's never gonna crash. And like Carnage, Gyro, and like a bunch of other people like, yeah, man, like you got a Razer, like Studio, like never, how is it? But yeah, like I have friends that were like, yeah, man, like I had FL Studio and it just like broke my computer. I'm just like, oh, okay. It's a good DAW though. Like when you talk about like just the simplicity to get started, like that builds a lot of confidence, like really quickly.
I think I'd say it's quite a colorful door, like when you open it, like especially because you can customize all the colors and stuff. It makes me feel at home.
Do you have like a particular color scheme that you go to?
Well, yeah, usually I like a lot of blue.
Okay.
So quite like, I don't know, I'm usually a bit lazy when I'm producing, so my mixer is usually really messy, but here and there there'll be random blue sections and it'll just feel like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like for me, like I color my stuff by parts of the song. So for example, the drop will be red, the build-up will be yellow, and then the verse will be green. That's how I organize my session. I don't really like some people. I know some people that like organize their session, but like putting like drums a specific color, right? Or like they put chords a specific color, and when I see that, I'm just like, but what do you? How do you know where you are, bro? Like I don't know how you do that. But yeah, is there like a particular process that you follow when you make music, or is it just kind of like, I'm not gonna make music. We'll see what happens.
Well, usually I'll just, I don't know. It's a bit weird because I don't know when I'm in the mood for making music. Like sometimes I'll just sit down and open it and I'll try and make something and nothing will happen. Like I'll sit there going like, oh, I like a melody and some chords and it'll sound awful. And I'll be like, it's just not happening. But then sometimes I'll sit down and I'll just make like an entire song in like 2 hours and I'll be like, oh, I'm finished. It's like the weirdest thing. I don't know. I think I think collaborating with other artists helped me like get inspired more often, because then they send me stuff and I'll be like, oh, that's sick, and then I'll go make something and I'll be like, send it back to them and be like, oh look, I made this out of it. And yeah, that's basically where it's my process.
So you kind of like remixing ideas a little bit, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Sometimes I guess. I've always found it hard to remix like pop songs though, and like bigger artists, because I've seen like a lot of artists grew off of like a remix. Like Millennium did the Chainsmokers remix, and then boom, he's enormous. But like, I don't know. I've always found it hard to like make remixes, probably because it's not my stuff. Like, I don't know. If someone sends me like a MIDI file or something, like I can truly manipulate it and mess around with it. Like I find that way easier than like taking someone's entire song and trying to make something new out of it, because I'm just not very good at being innovative when it comes to other people's music. Usually when it's my own idea or someone else's that I can change around a lot, it's when I'm comfortable, you know.
You know what I did to avoid that, because I had the same problem. For example, like Splice, Skyo, and I forget, there's another platform that has like remix competitions. I would not listen to the song, like I would never heard the original. I would just download the stems and I would just delete everything by the vocals. That way I have no idea what this original song sounds like.
That actually sounds pretty smart.
Because then I just write around the vocal. So
yeah, I always look at the song for a while before I start. But it's probably a good idea to not do that, because then I can make my own idea off of it.
Yeah, like
I'm actually gonna start using that.
Delete everything but the vocal, or like the main lead, whatever. And then, for example, like write an idea around it. And then when you have kind of an idea, because you kind of don't know what you're gonna do, then you can maybe listen to the original to be like, okay, what other sounds do they have here that I think are kind of cool? And you can be like, oh, they have like a weird arp. Okay, cool. I can try putting that in my original. That way it's like, you know what I mean? That's one hack, if anything. That's helped me a ton, because I hate it listening to the same song over and over, and then downloading the stems and just like, yeah, I can't compete with what was already done.
Yeah, that's a pretty smart idea, to be honest. I should do that.
Yeah, 100% steal it. It's all good. So I guess you don't really have a ritual then for making music, then you just kind of like see what happens on your sessions, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's, something that I do like is having desk organization. Like if someone looked at my desk now, they'd go, "Oh, it looks horrible," but that's because I haven't really organized it when I sat down. But like I do like a little bit of organization in it to look neat and kind of minimalistic, I suppose. If a few things are like messy and I keep bumping into stuff, it really annoys me.
Is there like a temperature that you go to? So for example, like my friend, he's very specific. He's like, bro, I write my stuff at 21 degrees Celsius and I mix at 18 degrees Celsius. I'm just like, you're a psychopath. Like, why are you like that?
What? I don't know. I don't have that much temperature control. It's either heating on or heating off. Like,
I'm just saying, I have a buddy that I'm just like, you're crazy. Or like, for example, like for me, people call me crazy. They're like, why do you mean you're always writing when you're hungry? I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, that's what I do. I can't write if I'm full. Like, I just feel like full. I can't commit to anything.
yeah.
What's it called? Is there a particular genre that you've like listened to it and you'd be like, I kind of want to try that, but you haven't got around to it yet?
Well, I did. I don't know. It's a genre that a while ago I wanted to get around to, but you know the genre of glitch hop, like
okay, that's cool.
An artist who does glitch hop, I don't know, like the Fat Rat or someone like that.
Yeah.
I guess, but I got around to doing that recently, and it's kind of similar to Future Bass. It's like similar tempo, but yeah, the drums are all over the place, and it really confuses me. Because I'll have a reference, I'll be like, okay, I want to make something like this, but not quite the same. So I'll start, and I'll be like, oh, this is really hard. Switching genres, going out of your comfort zone for me is like the hardest thing, especially when I try and make a house. Like I make a lot more future bass than I do house, and this is because I'm more comfortable making future bass. And when I try and go out of that, it's always a bit like, I don't know, difficult.
I mean, yeah, that's for me. Like I started making deep house because it just was the easiest thing for me to make. Then like my friends like, do you want to try making big room? I'm just like, okay, I'll try it. Then I try making like bass house. And like I mostly make future bass right now. I mean, most of my songs that's out is not future bass, but like what's out right now I think is like bass house and big room. And I think my first one was kind of future bass. Not making. I think I'm making like I've been like messing with synthesis now, so I'm making a little bit of dubstep. But it's like for me, it's just like if it's hard and I feel uncomfortable, I should probably do it because I learn a lot. Because when you go back to the genre that you used to like doing it, then you can't have all these new ideas, right?
Yeah, I get that.
For example, if you ever want to do glitch hop, you should listen to breakdancing music. That would help you a ton.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. So maybe I would. I guess they're quite similar, aren't they? They're like nearly the same.
Drum wise, yes, 100% the same.
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess glitch hop is the one thing that you want to do, so you can be at like an underground festival and be like, yeah.
It's just playing his sad future bass and then suddenly glitch hop and everyone's like, yeah.
Yeah, well, like you can be sad but funky, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Do you have a particular plugin that is your go-to for everything? For example, like I'm not talking like a sound maker. I'm talking like a thing that you put on everything, like like.
Okay. I don't know. Someone asked me this question the other day, and I nearly said OTT, but then I remember how much reverb I add to literally everything. So I would say like reverb probably now over compression like OTT, because I feel reverb makes things wider, and I like using ozone imager to like narrow it up if I need to. Like I'll use reverb and then under it I'll put like ozone to make it a bit more narrow if it's too wide, so then I can really control it. I expect it's a really weird thing to do.
Well, no, I put OTT after my reverbs.
What?
Yeah. Try
Really?
it. Put it at like 10% and you're gonna be like, I have never heard something so wet yet so nice at the same time.
If I'm ever gonna put OTT on something, I'll move it right to the top immediately.
Yeah, no, for me, like I put OTT right after my reverbs, and it's obviously it's not on the main channel. It's a send, because otherwise I can't control the dry signal, and you're just kind of like things got too lit. Now everything's a mess. But if you use it as a send, like afterwards, you're just like, oh, damn, am I T-Pain? This is lit. I like it.
I'll try it.
Yeah. In regard to any other hobbies that you have, obviously you play soccer, I assume, because you're a referee, right?
No, I don't know. I did play for a little bit, but now I don't anymore. I just referee now. So yeah.
Any other hobby
though? I guess I play the piano. I do bike ride. I go on riding my bike quite a lot actually. I don't know. I'm not very good at it. I've fallen off quite a few times. There's a video somewhere of me falling flat on my face and breaking my collarbone.
Nice. Please send it to me so I can add it to the video. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not hard to find. People distributed it widely.
You got good promoters in your school, I guess. Okay. So is it like, do you just go for speed, or do you have like a mountain bike? Is it BMX, or is it just a regular bike?
Mountain bike.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we have a lot of trails in Canada for that stuff.
Yeah, I know. I did a stint where I was just watching mountain biking like videos all the time, and they were nearly always in Vancouver, Canada.
Yeah, no, like we have this ski resort called Whistler, but then in the summer it's like a mountain bike park, and like Monster has like all their like competitions there, and they're nuts. Like dude doing double backflips on a mountain bike. I'm just like, Jesus, that's amazing.
Yeah, Whistler's one of the places where I would have liked to go if I hadn't fallen flat on my face on my mountain bike and learned the lesson of don't be too overconfident.
Well, no, you can still go. Like you can take classes too. Like we have like guides there, right? If you're a noob, they'll just be like, "Yo, come this way," and just be careful for bears, because sometimes they do come.
I always think that's a terrifying thing about Canada and America is bears everywhere.
Oh no, dude, there's a bear by my house. His name is Charlie. He comes like once a week, and he just like destroys like my blueberry tree. It's fine.
In England, there's like no big animals like that. Like the biggest thing you'll get in the wild is like a badger or a deer. Like there's no bear.
No, like by my house, there's Charlie, so that's my bear. There's mountain lions. Those are scary because they just destroy everything. We have like coyotes. They eat cats. So yeah, no, it's fine as long as you don't mess with them. You can be polite to them. Actually, like part of what we're taught here is whenever you see a bear, say hi to it, and then they'll like back away.
I just couldn't deal with that. That would freak me out so much.
They're pretty big. Like don't get me wrong. Like they're big guys, and you're like whoa. But yeah, if you ever come, like I'll show you around, and you can meet my bear Charlie. I know where he lives. So yeah. Do you have any song coming out or any song that just came out that you want to talk about?
I did make a song called Kiwi, but the one that I like more is a song that I made with Foam called Arcadia, which is really good. I like that track a lot. Although I feel like I didn't do it. You know when you do a collab and you feel like you haven't done enough for it, but like, and you feel a bit like you've stolen someone else's work a little bit. But I don't know. Foam made me look at it as I did write quite a bit of the melodies. So yeah, I don't know. I always get that like also like a kind of imposter like kind of syndrome thing where when I collab with someone, because I always feel like, oh no, I didn't do anything, they did everything. Oh no, I don't know, it always freaks me out a little bit when I'm doing a collab and they do so much to the track and send it back to me and I'm like, whoa, this is so much better.
I mean, that happens all the time. That's kind of part of the collab. Usually it's never 50-50. Like the song that I just released on Lifted, Hold Me, I think I wrote like 70% of it. Right? So, and it's fine because like I actually need that 30% for Chris to like make it like what it is. Or like our first song that we wrote together, like I think Chris wrote most of it and I would just kind of like change the melody in the drop and that's all I contributed to.
Yeah.
Right?
Me and Foam had like a big argument over one note. It was either because at the drop of the song Arcadia, it goes like bum ba da bum bum bum, but the note at the start he didn't want it. He just wanted it to be a hit, and I wanted it. And we had like 2 days worth of arguing about it until I finally won the argument. And then we have the bit there now. But he made it really quiet in the last mix because just to kind of stab me in the back a little bit. It still annoys me how it's not like really pronounced.
I mean, like, what I would suggest for you to do is just, if you're like really sold on it, obviously speak your mind, but you still want to collab with the person, right? So like, as long as the decision's not like messing up your relationship, it's all good. Like for example, like for me, what I like to do is like when I hear something I don't like, I usually say like, oh wow, that's really interesting. Can we try this and see how it says? Let's bounce both of them. We'll just show it to our friends, see which one they like better. And then it's not on you, right? Because then it's like, yeah, well, you know that people like this one, so I'm right or like I'm wrong. So that's like a smart way to like de-escalate the situation. Because bro, like I've gotten stuff when like I'm just like, what the hell is this? And then I have to find a way to like navigate through that so that we can come to an agreement.
It's weird between me and Foam because if we butt heads, we're both like, we're not that much pacifists like that. We won't like discuss it nicely. We'll just kind of start a war.
Well, I mean, there's passion there, obviously, but consider the other way too. Just because like it's gonna be like they're gonna look forward to working with you again, right? Yeah. Especially like for example, if you're willing to basically just take the L for that one time. Right, but everything else that you guys do together sounds awesome, then, I mean, it doesn't matter. If obviously you're taking the L all the time and you never comes to a compromise, then maybe Jim should be like, hey man, so like, you know, all of this. So, just something to think about. You can still be, you know, you can still go to war with him. It's up to you, bro.
Yeah, well, recently me and Foam did work together again, but unfortunately, we kind of just dropped it because it sounded... We thought it, well, I think it sounded a bit too much like Arcadia, but also I don't know. We both just one day were sat in a Discord call talking about what we were making. And we were both like editing our versions of the song, and then he just hit me with the I don't think it's that good. I don't think it's like the best of what we can do. And I was like, yeah, I suppose like I don't know. It sounded a bit old, a bit dated, and it was also not as, I don't know, catchy as Arcadia, so we just kind of abandoned it. sat there collecting dust.
It's all right. You can start a new project, bro. It's all good.
Yeah, we were gonna do a versus thing where we like where he sends we like set a BPM and a tempo, and then we each get a drop and we each get in a verse, I guess, and then we were gonna do that. That was gonna be well. I think we're still gonna do it. It's gonna be sick. Well, I hope it's sick.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely sounds awesome. I definitely want to hear that when it's done.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to tell the audience before we finish this conversation?
I'm making more songs with Edward Griffith. He's an amazing vocalist. That's pretty much it, I guess. Oh yeah, shout out to Ovsky or Ovi Sky. I don't know. His name is really weird because apparently it's pronounced Ovsky in like Europe and stuff, but to me, because in England sky is like one word and in English sky is a word, like I always go Ovi Sky. But yeah, he's really helpful. If ever I send him a track, he'll send me an email back, like telling me all of the things that are like that I could improve on, whether it's good, whether it's bad. I don't know. It's really helpful to have like that kind of person, like kind of a bigger artist than you to bounce ideas off. Like especially when they reply, it feels like humbling.
Yeah, and then you also got a song coming out on Lifted, right?
Yeah, Castles is very good. I like that. That was like that project for me was amazing. I like that taught me so much of like doing future bass, because working with vocals, like I'd had minor experience working with vocals, and usually the vocals were my own voice, which isn't very good. So having an actual vocalist was really, really useful, and I think it made the song like that much better, because without vocals it just sounded plain. And then when I got to mix the vocals in and I watched a lot of mixing tutorials on vocals, learned how to do it properly, I thought it sounded amazing at the end. So, yeah.
Awesome. Where can people mostly find you then?
Mainly SoundCloud or Instagram. I guess you could go on my Spotify, but it's not, I don't know. So I always find I don't really upload stuff to Spotify like all the time. If you want all of the songs I've ever done, right down to like some of my first songs, you go to SoundCloud, because I obviously didn't pay for a distributor for a long time, and then I did, and now some of my stuff is on Spotify. Usually Spotify is the best place to go if you want my new stuff, like the stuff probably good.
Okay. And what's your Instagram handle?
Asparagus Music. Just asparagus _ music. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You'll find me, like type that in, I guess.
Hi man. Well, it was great having you.
Yeah, thanks.
Hopefully we can do it again, and see you guys later.
Bye.